Hey everybody, Max here, and today I'm going to be taking a look at the FEI Long figure from Jada Toys. This is a part of the Street Fighter II Ultra toy line, and I've been intrigued by Jada Toys for a while. I've liked the look of their figures. I've heard great things about the figures, but hadn't purchased any myself. I decided to take advantage of the Cal Peterson discount code on Jay's Toys and Games. So give a shout out to Mr. Kyle and to Jay's Toys and Games as well. They packaged everything very well. I got this guy along with several other things and just looking forward to getting him out of the package and seeing what I can see, so stick around. Okay, so here he is out of the package, and let's talk about the package for a second. I like how it is made to look like the old upright video games that we played these characters on. But I have to say, it's got to be one of the hardest packaging to get the figure out of any action figure I purchased. I mean, there's multiple levels of trays and tape and cardboard and all that kind of stuff that you have to cut through. So I'm not really complaining. It's just they went all out. So it's in there secure. It's going to take a minute. So I recommend cutting it from the bottom and sliding out everything all at once and then cutting all the tape as you go. So anyway, really cool. I like it. I think it's well done. FEI Long, country of origin, Hong Kong, which, I mean, is that its own country? Isn't he? I mean, I know Hong Kong for the longest time was under the control of Britain, but now it's back into the hands of China, so wouldn't his country of origin be China? And his fighting style is now Kung Fu. So, but I guess at the time of the game, Hong Kong was considered its own thing. So anyway, I like the fact that it's got the roster. And we don't have all of these figures yet, released yet, so I think they're taking their own sweet time. Don't want to end the line too quick. I am definitely looking forward to Vega. I played him the most, but a lot of these characters are very cool. So anyway, definitely like the package. Probably going to hang on to it too. He comes with two Kung Fu hands. And he comes with two fists of fury. And he comes with two head sculpts as well, and both very good. One is frowning, and the other is more open, a little softer in the expression, but no less determined to win. So I will probably display him more with the frowning, ready to go to town on somebody, ready to fight for total victory. So yeah, very determined there. And he comes with this awesome flame effect, which can only go on his leg. It doesn't fit anywhere else. So I'll show him with a couple of poses at the end, but I'm guessing this was one of his finishing moves or primary moves. Like I said, I never played this guy on the game, so which is kind of strange considering I'm a big Bruce Lee fan. So I mean, but who isn't? But anyway, let's get into the articulation and everything. It's a 6-inch scale, so he's got a lot of the same articulation that we are used to from most of our 6-inch scale figures. So if you're into Classified or Marvel Legends or something along those lines, you know what I'm talking about. So yeah, so he has a very good face sculpt. As I said, the texture on the hair is done very well. The paint is done very well. I like that there is a paint wash in the sculpt of the muscles and a little wash on the face as well. So that's pretty cool to kind of just give him a little extra texture and in the texture of the muscles, the seams of the muscles and everything like that. So that's really cool. And there's good texture to the pants and the waist piece as well as the shoes. The shoes are nicely done. I'm guessing they're black and painted or white and painted. So yeah, I think they're white plastic painted black and then green border and then black on the bottom. So yeah, there's not a lot in terms of design or not like G.I. Joe Classified. There's not a lot of extra sculpting or anything. He's just a dude in his Kung Fu pants, and I don't know what they're called. Please forgive me for saying Kung Fu pants. I mean that in the highest respect. So I used to take martial arts myself. Never took kung fu, but we call it a gi, so the uniform. So I don't know what his uniform would be for kung fu. So sorry, I'm not trying to be offensive here, but anyway, I think they did really well on the paint. Came out very good. The in the musculature and everything. So, and articulation, he leans forward or looks down that about that far. Has a floating neck and a ball hinge, so he looks up fairly well. Down could probably be a little better. He's stiff in some areas, so I had to kind of break it loose a bit. And I think I may still have to heat him up in certain places. So yeah, he's got good range of motion, a little stiff in the neck for the turning, and then he can kind of tilt and all of that kind of stuff. So pretty good range of motion in the neck. Like I said, I may have to take everything apart and just kind of shore up some things. He's loose in some areas and tight in others. So pretty good butterfly joint. The left is more fluid than the right. Definitely feel a little more resistance on the right, and he can get a pretty good T pose with a little effort. And let's see. So rotating the arms around, particularly the right, the butterfly joint seems a little too small. So as you rotate up and around, the plastic of the upper shoulder rubs against the top of the butterfly joint. So, or the socket for the butterfly joint. So I can see that rubbing a little bit over time. I mean, it does keep it in position. Just, I don't know if it's just mine, but it seems like the design of the butterfly joint in it needed to be just a tad bit wider. So maybe an intrepid customizer could take the arm out and maybe shave off a little plastic there, and you'll get a little better range of motion. And same way with, it's a little crunchy in the butterfly joint here, so not so much on the left. So bicep cut is pretty solid. Let me just say a quick aside that the plastic top to bottom feels very good. It doesn't feel cheap, doesn't feel gummy, and the joints feel very, very solid. The bicep joints are a little loose on the left, little loose on the right. Nothing really to complain about, just kind of pointing it out. And pinless joints, which is great. And he gets pretty good range of motion for the elbows, which is great. He's got a migraine, or he's using his telepathy to call his X-Men. An Asian Professor X, that'd be cool. So we got that. Where he's going dancing, I don't know. So little flashing on the elbow joint, interior elbow joint on the left arm. And pretty good, it rotates fairly well. On the little loose, on the, not floppy, just, you know, it's just a little loose in the wrists, but it's a horizontal on the Kung Fu hands. And I think coming down to the diaphragm cut, this is probably my biggest complaint for this figure, is it does not turn very well. I don't know if it's supposed to. I don't want to risk it, but it feels like there's just too much resistance in there. He bends forward. Like a lot of figures with, it just seems like it doesn't matter what line it is, the diaphragm cut, it's not really giving you much forward bend. I mean, this is definitely better than some, without a doubt, but it still kind of suffers a bit because he can only go forward that far, which, like I said, I've seen worse, but I've also seen better. And he leans back about that far. So, and there's a little bit of a give in the, now you can, pretty good waist swivel, but there's also, there's a bend there. So there's probably a ball and socket. And so you can get a little more forward bend. So yeah, actually I take that back. He can bend forward fairly decently with all of those combined. So But like a lot of the diaphragm cuts and a lot of figures, there's a little bit of a, after you start using it, you get a little bit of a wobble, and that can bug me to no end. But I deal with it for the overarching, overall aesthetic of the figure. Splits are pretty good. These do not have drop-down hips. I was kind of surprised at that. I wasn't sure if Jada did drop-down hips or not, but we definitely get pretty good splits. And let me see if I can get him posed right. He balances fairly well in some poses. I think I did try this at one point. And he's just a little hard to pose. It's just, I feel like I'm fighting it at times. So let's see. Get him lined up. Boom. He will stand on one foot. And just to show I don't have him on a stand, although I probably will put him on a stand when I add this guy. So, yeah, so that's pretty cool. Really good thigh cut. He kicks forward less than 90 degrees because of the lack of drop down hips. I don't know. Let me know in the comment section. I'm kind of new to Jada in this line, so do any of the figures have drop down hips, or is that just something that they've foregone? I've said before in other videos, I'm not a huge fan of them, except for when it's kind of needed, like certain characters that, like in a martial arts characters, I could see all of the figures in Street Fighter needing it. Characters like Spider-Man, Daredevil, Nightcrawler, very agile characters. I would want to see drop-down hips for those guys, but I don't think every figure needs it. A lot of the G.I. Joe classified figures, I think pretty much everyone comes with a drop-down hip, but I don't think that those types of characters definitely or necessarily need them. So pinless knees and pretty good range of motion. He kicks back that far, pretty cool. And these legs were very stiff out of the box. I didn't heat him up, but I did have to work it a little bit, and they are nice and smooth now. I definitely like these particular pants, these legs, the texture and everything. There's some plastic flashing here and there. You can see it on the back of the knee joint. Nothing that I'm really complaining about. It's just kind of there. But yeah, I can see this particular maybe a wash, maybe a whitewash or something, kind of bringing out the texture of the pant legs. That would be kind of cool. And there is an ankle swivel down here. It's get a little bit of a gap on the left one. They felt a little spongy, but not too bad. Really good range of motion on the feet. However, there's it will rotate to the right on the right foot, but I'm going to probably warm him up. I'm afraid I'm going to twist it off, and I've done that before, trying to force a joint, so I'm not going to do that there. But there's not good rotation out of the box for the right foot, and the left is a little better. They kind of go out better than they go in, and there's just some resistance. So anyway, I'm going to give that. I'm going to heat this up and take it off and see if there's anything I need to tweak. But I definitely like these are pretty flat-footed feet, which is great for standing and posing, because he will, like I said, like I just showed you, he can kick and everything. So yeah. All right, so here's the moment of truth. I'm going to try and put his fire leg effect on him and see if he will actually stay up. So gonna have to get the arms right for him to balance properly. I don't think this is gonna work. I probably will have to put his foot on the stand, but it goes on like that, I would assume. Yeah, I can already feel the weight pulling him down. So, and let's see, I've got one of these figure arts. I think that's what they're called. They're a little hard to get in, the pegs, but let's see. Now, feeling the kind of the looseness, due to the looseness in the ankle, okay, I was afraid that the weight would probably bring him, cause the weight would cause him to tip forward. But there you go. So yeah, a little stand like that, and he can maintain his pose. That's not the best, not the best pose, but so there you go. That's Fei Long. I think he's a really good figure on a whole. Like I said, he's a little loose in some places. Kind of had to fight him here and there. He's a little tough to pose a little bit, but on a whole, he's a really solid figure. I'm going to give this guy a warp factor of 8.5. He's my first Jada Toys. I think this is a good introduction to that line. I may get a few others. Like I said, I'm definitely going to get Vega. I might pick up a few more out of this line as we go forward. Let me know what you think in the comments section. Oh, now he's down. Ah, well, standing back up. I'm going to end the video before he falls over again. Thanks for watching, guys. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Warp factor of 8.5, and I'll talk to you guys next time.